Hi guys, 2 cars from the junk pile. This one is Equestria Girls. It's just a push along. What's that say down there? 2013 Hasbro. Don't know if the camera will pick that up. I have had one of these before and I converted it to hobby grade radio control using sort of toy grade components but hobby grade radio control, and I very carefully maintained these wheels so we could use them. They're only plastic and they just clip in place as I remember it, but I made sure the end result was actually the original car as far as possible. And I spotted this one in a charity shop for £1 and thought I might have another go with it sometimes. Those are nothing to do with it, but they're sitting in there. In fact, that would make a good driver, wouldn't it? I might have to put a hole in the seat so his tail can go in. I don't think that tail comes off, no. That's blue tack on there where I've had him stuck to one of the other cars. So, plan is to use the general body shell and possibly stick it on here, because the distance is about right and the width is about right. This is another one I picked up in a charity shop, missing a few bits and obviously leaking batteries. Let's have a look. Don't know what frequency this one runs on, so yeah, a bit of a sorry state that, isn't it? So we'll get those batteries out. I will see if it'll actually run, but the idea is to strip it down as far as possible and stick that on top for a bit of fun. Right, that battery's gone, terminal's gone completely. We might have to do a little temporary mod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 1.5, 7.5, equivalent to a 2S LiPo battery. So that might be easier than trying to replace all those bits. We might just take it apart so we can get to the battery terminals. We might be able to connect or solder directly onto there temporarily, just so we can get battery power to it. Just see if we can get it running. Because if it runs, then we might just do a body shell swap, just for the fun of it. Right, we'll just see if we can get some solder to take on these tags. I've put a little bit of solder flux on there already. Doesn't look very hopeful. Just try a drop of decent solder instead of that cheap Chinese stuff. I always try and use the cheap stuff first, because I've got to use it up because it's junk, and I don't like throwing stuff away, so I try and use it. But as you can see, the good solder, which has got flux in it, has done the job. So that is just temporary. So I can see if we can actually get it working. Right, I've got 2S battery on charge, so when that's charged we'll see if we can match a transmitter to this. Right, using one of my old 27 megahertz controllers. Right and left work. Unfortunately, forwards is backwards and backwards is forwards. That is easy to swap. We just swap the wires over on the motor and then it'll go the right way for us. Oh, that sounds like there's a gear missing on the gearbox. It may just be slipping on the motor. It might be the pinion gear slipping. Yeah, doesn't sound happy, does it? Still, we've got to strip it down anyway to try and fit the other body shell on it. So, progress. At least we've got a working 27 megahertz receiver in there, which makes a change. Alright, so we've established it sort of works, but it's going to need work doing to it. Okay, how are you going to come apart? I have taken a few of these apart in the past, but that was a while ago. Right, okay, so a few bits and pieces. I wanted to retain the steering at the moment anyway, unless we decide to go hobby grade. Gonna have to cut a fair bit out of here what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut basically around the wheel arches and around here to get as much of the back out as I can. The only problem we've got is where it's screwed together. I think we might have to glue it instead. Certainly the wheels are coming off. So I'm going to cut around the wheel arches, across here, around the wheel arches, across there, and the same at the back, and then we'll see what we've got left. We just look up underneath here, where the posts go down to screw the top to the bottom. This gearbox will actually fit between there, so I should be able to cut round there and still retain that part. Right. I'll probably use a hot knife to melt the plastic, so that means lots of smell, doors open, plenty of ventilation, and see how we get on. Well, we're not quite there yet, but it's looking promising. Done a lot of trimming underneath. Also trimmed the edges off this one. I've taken the receiver out at the moment because I'm going to mount that up here, because with that trimmed off, that does sit down on there nicely. And there is plenty of room up under there, under the back, for the receiver to sit up there. So, what we really ought to do is take the gearbox out and see what's wrong with it before we go any further. Otherwise we might be totally wasting our time. I think we have to take this all apart to get it out. That's one screw one on the floor. I'm hoping it's just the pinion gear is loose. It might be split. it's split. So that'll be what the problem is. It's split, so it'll be coming loose on the shaft, I would think. So let's have a look, see if we've got another one. 8 pins. 8 pins, 8 teeth. I've 3D printed a replacement. Let's see if that works. I've moved the receiver so it's sitting on top of the gearbox back axle. We've got a 3D printed gear, pinion gear on there. No idea how long that will last, but that was the easiest way to replace the split one. And I've extended the wires that go up to the steering, because obviously the receiver's a bit further away than it was. I've been a bit generous there, but I put a lead on there so we can attach a LiPo battery or lithium ions, as the case is here. I haven't reconnected the aerial yet. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that. That's got to come out of here somewhere. I'll probably just drill a hole there somewhere. Yeah. Almost anywhere. So it comes out the back. And then we can stick it together. Let's just see that that actually fits now that we've done all that to it. Yeah, that fits in there fine. I'm not quite sure how I'm actually going to fit it together. I might just hot glue it, because this isn't a long-term project. This is just get it up together so we can have a bit of fun with it. And then it'll probably go in the bin. Well, there we are, all up together. Those knobbly tyres are hopeless indoors. It's got no grip at all on this floor. So we'll have to go outside and have a little run out there. Trying to drive it one-handed. Right, we'll go outside. Oh, that 3D printed gear is slipping. Yep. Oh, come on. Not out of battery already. Just out of range, I think. It's actually drizzling a bit out here. that is. That is that 3D printed gear playing up. It's jamming. Yeah, that's what it is. I can hear it. Still, if we hadn't printed it, we wouldn't actually be running the car today, because I didn't have a spare one. So, best of a bad job, I should think we could say. Anyway, there we go. We have the Equestria Girls toy car converted to radio control using the parts from, I can't remember what that car was called, but it was from Toy Story, wasn't it, originally? And it's got big knobbly tyres that are no good indoors. So, that'll do. Job done. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.